Hello, everybody. It's Connie Stewart with SimplySimpleStamping.com. I'm so glad you guys could join me for my Tuesday tip series for April 2022. So, as I was contemplating, what do I want to share with you this month? I got to thinking about some of those cards that we've created that are just kind of like our extra special or over the top. Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of myself cards. We're going to talk this month about ways we can use some of our absolute favorite cards and use them to create some special gifts. How about that? We are going to kick things off for April with a fantastic sticky note easel. This thing is so cute. Let me show you. Let's talk about how cute these are. And you can see I literally just used my favorite card. I've got some simple steps for you to create the easel. You are going to love creating and giving this fantastic gift. I'm excited to get started. So let's go create a sticky note easel. So here's one of the projects that I created for this Post-it note easel card. So this was a card I created a while back. In fact, I've got a video on this. I'll put the link up there in the corner for you. This origami dahlia fold was really fun. Of course, it was a very over-the-top gorgeous card. And because I wanted to create something new and different with it, I turned it into my Post-it note easel. Can you see how that just goes together? Very easy. There's my Post-it notes. Fantastic little project. You could give that to coworkers or friends. It's just a wonderful little project to have. And what's great is the design, the decor that you put on the front, guys, that's all up to you. And it's a great way to take your favorite card and step it up a notch. But I got to tell you, I think the greatest part about this project is that it can be made with just one sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. I love that. It's a nice, easy project. This is all we're going to need. Well, of course, our Post-it notes. We will need those as well, but we just need this piece of cardstock. Now, I have a free download for you, and here you're going to find photos of my project. You're going to find a link if you want to come back and watch this video again. Here is a spot you can click if you want to order any of the supplies. I've got my complete supply list here. All of my cutting and scoring. There are the two links to the videos for the two cards that I created. But look at this, guys. Voila, we have a diagram. Diagrams make it so easy, right? So there is an easy diagram for you to create your sticky note easel, how to cut, how to score. You're going to love having this. It will make it very easy. Remember, that's free. You can go to SimplySimpleStamping.com or look down in the YouTube description for the direct link on how to download that. So you'll have that. All right, let's get started with our diagram and what we're going to do here to our basic black 8.5 by 11 cardstock. So the first instruction is to cut the cardstock in half at 4.25 by 11. All right, that's easy enough. So we'll put the 8.5 inches up there at the top. So we now have two equal pieces of 4.25 by 11. Now it says to score one of those at 2.75 and 5.5. Now, when we go to score, remember this dark blade is a cutting blade. We don't want to use that one. We want to score. That's that lighter blade. So we'll score at 2.75 and again at 5.5. That's all we need to do to the first piece of cardstock. Second piece of cardstock, it says we're going to cut it into two 4.25 by 5.5. So that's just two equal pieces, 4.25 by 5.5. That's easy enough, right? Then we're going to take one of those and cut it down to 4.25 by 3.125. So there's 4.25. Let's cut it down to 3.125. That's just right there in between 3 and 3.25. So there we go. Now we do need to score this. And you see I've got that here too. We need to score it at 3.125. And just like we did before, let's make sure we don't cut. We want to score. We are now ready to go. Now, there is one other thing that, of course, that you're going to want for this project, and that is your favorite card. You're going to want to take your favorite card because we're going to add that to the front. Now, there's a couple options here. You can see this card. This actually used to be an open and close card. I cut off the side. And so that meant I was ready to go. So you really just need the front of your card. So that's what I've done here. It was an original card and I just cut it down. But you know what? I decided to cut this one a little bit smaller. So that one was a full-size card. This one, I actually cut it down to 4 by 5 1/4. So I cut it down because I want to add that right here to this one piece of basic black. Can you see what I've done there? This is optional because, like I said, your finished card may already be on a piece of cardstock. And if that's the case, like I did here, Calypso Coral, my background here was Calypso Coral. And so I was able to put it together like that. But I really like having it cut a little bit smaller too. It gives it some creativity there. Guys, this one, I actually don't have a video link, but I do have a written tutorial to this card. When you're a part of my newsletter, this is one of the free tutorials. I send out a free tutorial with every newsletter, and this was one of the cards that I did in that. And I loved the look with that soft succulent, those dies. I thought it looked really pretty. Hello, fabulous. We're going to be using the Dress to Impress stamp set to do that. All right, we're going to take that 4 1/4 by 11. Remember, we did that little fold on it. Let's come in with our bone folder and give that a really good crease. We want a really nice hard crease on that. If you've missed any of the measurements for the easel, don't worry. I've got a free download for you that has all of that waiting for you. You can find it at simplysimplestamping.com or just look down in the YouTube description. I've got a direct link that'll take you there. Once you download this, you'll have everything you need: the supplies, the measurements, photos, a link to this video in case you need to go back and watch it again, and of course, a place you can order any of the supplies you need. I would love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, so I hope you'll go grab that free download at simplysimplestamping.com. And now it's time to put that easel together. All right, I put adhesive all around that flap. And now what I want to do is lay my card base, that card front, if you will. I shouldn't say base, it's just the card front. You see, it's going to attach to the top of my card, so I can line that up. So can you see, like right now, laying flat, it just looks like a card, right? Just open, close. But we have that attached up at the top of our card. So hopefully that helps you. So remember, we did that one little score line. I'm going to go ahead and crease that. You're probably wondering, Connie, how are you going to do that? Well, because I can't guarantee what size your Post-it, how thick your Post-it notes are, I only wanted to have you crease one side. But watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to flip this over, press that, and I'm just going to give it a little crease that way. Rather than have you pre-score it, I want to make sure it is exactly the right size for your Post-it notes. Let's make sure we know which direction our Post-it notes are going. Oh, and by the way, I want to make sure you're not using those accordion Post-it notes. I have some of those I bought by accident. When you don't have the little dispenser, those things are just awful. They really are. All right, so you can see we're going to adhere this down right there. Again, I think I'm going to go heavy with my adhesive there. And the Post-it notes are 3 inches. My cardstock is 3 1/8. So you're going to have a tiny bit of slush on the outside edge. And I did that because I didn't want to run the risk of having any of these yellow Post-it notes shine through. Didn't quite go with the Melon Mambo. So there is our Post-it note cover. Now, if you want to add some decor to it, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add a square of Melon Mambo, a square of basic black, and a square of that designer series paper. You can add 1 layer, you can add 2 layers, whatever you want. Basically, you're dealing with a square because this, you got to remember, is 3 1/8 by 3 1/8. So I've probably got a 3 by 3 here. Then I'm going to add just a little bit of black. Again, this part is where your creativity takes over. You get to just kind of have some fun with it. Add as many layers as you'd like. But that designer series paper, this is from Simply Elegant, and it was just so pretty. And I love black and white. Of course, it looks great with Melon Mambo, don't you think? We'll add that there. All right, Post-it notes are all ready to go, but you know what? I wanted to add a little focal image here. This is from it's from the Dress to Impress stamp set, and I used the all dressed up dies. Look at that sweet little perfume bottle. I colored it with some Stampin' Blends. I just thought it made a nice focal image. But now it's time to put all of this together. So remember, we had our great kind of open and close card. Now I could add this right here with just a black base. But you know what? I wanted to add a little more pop of that melon mambo. So I'm going to add, you can see, I'm going to add a piece of melon mambo right here. By the way, this is a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of cardstock. I think it's just going to add a little something here. Again, this is something that's going to sit out on my desk, so I want it to look really nice. We're now ready to add our post-it notes here, and you can see how this is going to work, how it's going to go together. So I'm going to place adhesive here on the back of my post-it notes, and I'm going to go all the way around. I want to make sure I've got plenty of adhesive on there. And now, and I'm sticking to it, it's so strong. Let's add this right here at the bottom of that melon mambo. And remember, that piece was optional. Don't come up too high because we want to make sure our easel is going to work. So you don't want to let this get up there in the center. But we'll leave just a nice little border all the way around. And guys, that is really all there was to it. You have a great way to give it. Now, I wouldn't recommend mailing this. This is probably way too thick to mail, but it is definitely something you could put in a cello bag and give as a gift. So let me go ahead and bring in that other one again. And you can see they're just fantastic little gifts. And like I said before, it's a great way to take that card that wowed you, that excited you, a wonderful way that you're going to take that and create it to make some wonderful homemade gifts. If you enjoyed today's card, I would love a thumbs up on YouTube. Thank you so much for that. And if you haven't subscribed, why not click that great big red subscribe button so YouTube can let you know whenever I'm back with a new video. Thank you all so much for being here. I look forward to stamping with you again soon. Bye-bye.